palace of His Royal Majesty, Architect Azuka Ngodi, Eze Ogwuike II of Atani. You wonder who he is? Please don't worry, just follow us into the palace to get to know who Eze Ogwuike II is. Would like to welcome you to the program Royalty today. On Royalty we have His Royal Majesty Architect Azuka Ngodi, Eze Ogwuike II of Atani. Igwe Odima, we'd like to welcome you to the program Royalty. Welcome to the program. Now, Igwe, so many people would like to really know who Igwe Atani is. Could you let us into a little of your biography before we move on?
Well, my name is Royal Highness Igwe Azuka Ngodi, Eze Ogwuike II of our Atani Kingdom, Anambra local government area. You want me to go on?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was born in the early 50s, went to school at Onitsha where I grew up, and then did my secondary school, and then went abroad to study urban planning and architecture. Then came back in 2014 when the town called me to come back and be the Igwe of the town. And I've been since coronated and performing the function of being as Igwe since that 2014. Yes. So that's what it is. I don't know if you may continue with your question, sir.
All right. You've actually stayed outside the shores of this country for quite a long time.
Yes.
Could you let us know how it feels, leaving all the attractions outside there, to get back to your community and to answer the call of duty, taking up the responsibility of being the traditional ruler of Atani people, Igwe?
Well, what it is that I, as a person, is somebody that really likes tradition. And I love the countryside, Obaru countryside, so I do come home regularly. Even when I was living in the United States, I went to France with the federal government scholarship. In France, when I finished, I went to the US and continued. But I've always endeavored to come home at least once a year. I'm somebody that loves hunting and fishing and the outdoors. So I do come back every year, sometimes 2 times, sometimes 3 times, to engage in my outdoor activities, hunting, fishing, and all that kind of stuff.
In other words, it wasn't really difficult for you,
No, because I'm already used to coming home every year. And when I come, I interact with the community, I ask the farmers how they're doing, I look into how their crops did for the year. And sometimes I participate in the traditional ceremonies that are going on at the time that I was around. Sometimes I meet some of the ceremonies, sometimes I don't. But I always like to come home. I have an older mother and some other siblings who are here. So it's always a good time for me to come and see them and, spend time with them, really.
All right, it wasn't really a difficult thing,
Well, you can say it's not difficult for me because I'm used to coming home. Not very difficult. You know that the life over there, where the infrastructure, everything works, electricity works. Sometimes you may have to ask yourself the question, why can't we make our place to be as good as what we have over there? So, to me, if you're somebody that truly loves your place, you have to endure some of the inconveniences that may come.
Let's quickly digress a bit because of what you said. Actually, why can't we make our place to be like where you're coming from?
Yes.
Do you see the possibility of we getting to that level?
I believe that this country can rise to be like some of these developed countries if you really ask me. One of the things that has been making it difficult, which is obvious, you and I know, is we have not been lucky enough to get the kind of leadership. Because if you have a journey of 1,000 miles, any 1 mile you knock off is out of the equation. Chairman Mao was trying to say, if we have started on the right track, we have standards for everything, have standards for our road, our buildings, we standardize the things we do, provide electricity the way other countries did. Whichever one we achieve each year or each 5 years, we'll continue to add on to it. One day we'll be like, after all, China, there are certain countries we started with as a country. Nigeria was almost on the same parallel with several countries that have developed and even grown more than we have right now. That. So I wish that we can afford to have the kind of leadership that will help us to march towards having the basic things
of life.
All
right. The program is Royalty, and we are at the palace of His Royal Majesty, Architect Azuka Ngodi, Eze Ogwuike II of Atani. We take a very short break at this point. The program returns after now. Please join us again. They are the custodian of traditional authority of their various communities. They are dignity personified. Know them. Learn more about them. Watch Royalty on ABS television channels 24 Oka. Take advantage of our social media handles at www.absradiotv.com. Like us at Facebook at www.facebook.com/absradiotelevision. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at absradiotv. Watch Royalty Fridays at 8 p.m. and a repeat broadcast on Wednesdays by 2 p.m. Royalty, dignity at best. Welcome back to the program. It's still Royalty, and we are still with His Royal Majesty, Architect Azuka Ngodi, Eze Ogwuike II of Atani. And now, Your Majesty, you were coronated the traditional ruler of Atani in the year 2014.
That's correct.
Could you tell us how it feels to be the custodian of the traditional ruler of Atani people?
Well, I saw it as something that will be challenging, but for all challenges in my life, I always try to face it and figure out a way to make it work better for me and for the people that I'm residing over. The actual coronation started in February of 2014, and there are so many aspects of it. But I would say that the coronation part finally ended around June, July, August. But then the first Ofala was celebrated in November of 2014. The process is a little bit not the way it used to be in the olden days. Once the town is done with you, you have the full traditional ruler of Atani. But this time around, you have to be presented to the local government, who will in turn present you to the government of Anambra State, so that the governor will issue your normal certification. And that's part of the things that were entrenched in the actual coronation. So we got all of them mixed up. We got the coronation done beginning from February of 2014. Then by November of 2014, we did the Ofala Festival, the first one. That's what happened.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now, having been on this throne for the past 4 years and still counting,
Yes.
could you let us into what you've been able to put on ground for the people of Atani?
Well, when I actually ascended on the throne, I was able to assemble all the constitutions that the town has, including all the proclamations they have. Because, it's been a town, I was the 16th king, so there have been about 15 kings before me. Even though there are few years they have gaps when a candidate didn't emerge or for one reason or the other. But Atani has had about 15 kings before me, and then I was the 16th. But this time around, starting from the last 2 or 3 kings, we now have certification. Government in 1976, so thereabout 76, 78, of Governor Anambra, if you remember, insisted that every community will have a constitution that will guide the activities in the community, including the kingship. So Atani also wrote their own constitution in 1977. So apart from the constitution, they have several amendments that came in form of proclamations, things that guide the deities and how they are functioning, the ranking of the Diche, our elders, and all that, and several other issues that needed proclamations to make it as an attachment to the main core of the constitution.
That's great, even.
So I made sure that I assembled all of them. Then I started mobilizing different groups to address all kinds of issues that the community have, with intention to achieve very good, peace in the community. Wherever people that are having issues, we have to bring them to the palace to find ways to resolve those issues for them. And it's been daunting and very challenging, but we've been doing our best using the wisdom of some of our elders and the Ndiche, both the Ndiche and the Ndiche, and also applying the actual use of the Constitution and those proclamations that are already in place. And with that, I would say that we made a lot of progress on that area.
That's good to know. And now, you said you are the 16th traditional ruler of Atani.
Yes.
I would like to find out here whether the kingship of Atani is hereditary. Is it in one family, or do you change it from one community to the other? How does it run here?
Well, the kingship in Atani is rotational. There are 2 villages that produce kings. Eze Atani, which comprises of Umudaipe and Umwekeke. That is where you are now. And then Umuyasele on the other side. So when we finish, if we go back to the other side of the town, and there's a village there. There are so many villages there. The particular one there, they will do their own part. When they finish, if the person moves on to join his forefathers, he comes back again here. We do. And then when he comes in, the families and the kindred that make up Eze Atani will bring out the candidate. They know whose turn it is among the children of the kings.
All right. We are still watching royalty from Atani here. Atani is actually in Obaru local government area of Anambra State. Now, Igwe, you've told us some of your achievements being on the throne for 4 years. 4 years is not 4 days.
Yes.
And now, I don't know, what is the greatest thing you will say you can beat your chest and say you are proud of having been on this throne for the past 4 years? This is what I am so proud to have achieved.
Well, 4 years is not that too long. But at the same time, I was able to identify certain lacks that I personally perceive in the community. We are known for being agricultural kind of people, farmers and fishermen. That's our main staple. So what I realized when I came back is that some of the youth and the young men are being turned off from the land. And every day you will see the federal government making proposals, coming up with so many projects recommending that people should go back to the land. Because our economy has focused for too long on oil and the fossil fuel kind of economy. So the government was trying to bring Nigeria back to what it used to be. Our people are known for agriculture. We are known for producing the biggest yams, producing the best cassava, producing a lot of big fishes. You know that. You probably know a little bit about Obaru and sweet potato, vegetables of all kinds. But the youth of these days, because everybody is chasing this oil type of employment and that approach to life, the federal government has a lot of programs aimed at encouraging the youth to come back, encouraging the people, form cooperatives. They had programs they call Fadama 1, Fadama 2, Fadama 3. So that the kids, the youth, and even the elderly people can engage. The government will infuse some seeds, give them seeds or subsidize the seeds and fertilizers, and even the cassava stems and other implements of farming. They even make tractors available for people who can afford to rent it through their cooperatives. The cooperatives is made up of a minimum of about 10 people. They go and register with the local government, and then go to the Ministry of Agri and register that they exist. So that the Ministry of Agri will now get them engaged in ways of assisting them with some of the things that they can use to get involved in the farming. So I will say that the Fadama program has increased the quantity of food our people produce. Generally, other farmers that come from other parts of Nigeria come here and engage in rice planting. Now our people are also doing rice planting. In fact, I'm also one of the farmers that do rice.
That's great.
So I do rice in addition to yam and cassava and sweet potato, and of course the vegetable, for which we are extremely very good. We produce sogo, green, arera, and all types of vegetables, because the river Niger overflows through our place, and you and I know in geography the agents of denudation makes the river Niger flow over and leave some alluvial soils when it recedes. So during the flood season, it brings in a lot of topsoil that it leaves behind when it's receding back to its normal size. So those deposits of alluvial soils is what people use for planting vegetables, and those vegetables do very well because of the richness of the soil. You understand what I mean? So that's why you see a lot of garden eggs, and all these garden eggs are produced here. You see a lot of food coming out of here.
That's great. So, that's great. And I must say you've really achieved quite some feats.
Yes.
And these achievements, they come not really without challenges. And now let's quickly go into that, because you might call some people, come and have this, but coming to have it may be another problem. So let's know the challenges you face as the Igwe of Atani people. And of course, you can tell us how you've been able to surmount some of these challenges.
Well, one of the main challenges is always very difficult in life to get people together, to be able to tune in, on where the federal government or the state government is heading into.
Or even your own initiative.
Yes, or even my own initiative that may be completely new from what the Fed is doing. So it took me quite a while. I call meetings, I make people assemble, and I invite professionals, consultants, people from the Ministry of Agri to come and help me talk to the youth. So we've been able to make a lot of impasse. A lot of the youth were able to agree to, learn all these new skills that are coming in. Some of them are doing marvelously well. Some that don't want to change are not. But you can see that progress brings changes. As they see others that are doing well with these federal government policies and programs, some of them are now joining and getting involved. Some age grades. Some people do it at the age grade level. Others do it by learning what some of the cooperatives are doing. Women were able to organize themselves in cooperatives, and sometimes they even contribute money and reduce the money to raise what they use, and then what they call the microfinance banks will now come in, give them money to plan this year. Well, depending on what they do and how successful they pay back the money, they'll give them more.
And you will agree with me that some of the challenge, do they really pay back the money?
Now, the way they set up those groups, the women, for example, the women, let me use the women as an example. If you are a member of that their cooperative and you don't pay, some of them are a few cooperatives that make about 50 women. If you don't pay, the other members are obligated to contribute money and cover the gap that you have created, so that they will not go into default. Or because they know each other, and apparently some of them grew up together, they will force who is not paying to pay. And when they do that, the microfinance bank will give them money, more money, the next year. I've seen some female groups that have grown from strength to strength. They started by giving them 50,000 each. Now they get close to 200,000 to more because of the performances.
All right, Igwe. The program is still Royalty, and we are still with His Royal Majesty Igwe Azuka Ngodi, Eze Ogwuike, the second of Atani. We take another short break at this point. The program returns after now. Please join us again. They are the custodian of traditional authority of their various communities. They are dignity personified. Know them. Learn more about them. Watch Royalty on ABS television channels 24 Oka. Take advantage of our social media handles at www.absradiotv.com. Like us at Facebook at www.facebook.com/absradiotelevision. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Watch Royalty Fridays at 8 p.m. and a repeat broadcast on Wednesdays by 2 p.m. Royalty, dignity at best. Welcome back to Royalty, the palace of His Royal Majesty Architect Azuka Ngodi, Eze Ogwuike, the second of Atani. Now, Your Majesty, you've really told us all your achievements this 4 years, and we're proud of you having been here for 4 years. And we've shared some challenges you face and how you've been able to surmount the challenges. Now, we want to take you into what the state government did for communities in Anambra State in the recent past, where it said, I give you 20 million naira, go home, choose your project, then build your project for your community. Could you let us into that, what your community have been able to do with this amount given by the government?
Well, the first 20 million we received, which it's been a while now, we were able to build a laboratory, a science laboratory building for Atani Community Secondary School, which you probably saw it when you were coming from on it. It's on the left, on that Community Secondary School compound. You will have seen it on the left. We built that, then the other half of the money was used to extend electricity towards the river Niger, from the villages that are in the river Niger area. We use it to extend the power line there and also provide the electricity transmission equipment there. So that's what we use the first money for. Now the second money that we have now, we are on the second one. I know some communities may have already started doing the third one. So we're still on the second one. On the second one, what happened was that we got approved to have a high court. So we now have a high court. Before we used to have customary court magistrate court. Now we have High Court brought to us about 2 months ago. So we were able to use the money for the second one, half of it, and using it to build an administrative block, using one of the buildings that we already have as the court itself, after doing some improvements inside the building. Then the other half of the money, we're going to use it to provide a dormitory for transients, like people that do youth service. So knowing that if we have accommodation for them, we might be able to compete better for people, that the professionals that come along, like medical doctors, pharmacists, and nurses, and that kind of stuff. If you have some kind of accommodation, it might give you a little edge, because the doctors and the medical personnel, they are usually short among the youth corpers. But if you can give them free accommodation that will be comfortable, you may compete well in sharing fuel and car. So those are the two things we are building right now.
Okay.
In the second phase of the one.
Okay, now that we wouldn't leave you, Igwe, without you telling us a little bit about the culture and tradition of Atani people. And of course, you let us know into the kind of food Atani people are known for.
Oh, well, Atani is one of the Ogbaru towns. And you know Ogbaru people living by the river Niger, with all these our agricultural produce. People know us for having soup that is done with fresh fish. The most prominent one is ofen salad.
I'm already salivating.
You have better. Okay, the most famous one is ofen salad, the one that they cook with fresh fish. Everybody, anywhere you go in Nigeria, people are familiar with the word ofen salad. That is, I won't call it pepper soup, but it's fresh soup with a lot of fresh fish in it. Okay, with all the ingredients that makes it ofen salad. Very light. You can drink it, you can eat with it, you can swallow with it. That's what Ogbaru is known for. And also Atani is known for that. Then we also are very good in the egusi. Then you use the dry fish, the dry meat and all that. And okra and the abono. We are known for all that. And we are extremely very good in them. Because we plant them. We plant a lot of them. And we plant a lot of vegetables that go with it. Like the oho and the draw soup leaves, like kere and the rest of it. You know how people produce them a lot. So they also show up in our pot. So we are one of those that cook very nice obono and okra soup and egusi soup. Then we eat a lot of pounded yam. Our people are known for it. We also eat cassava. We eat a lot of sweet potatoes. Now we have introduced some carrot potato that is more medically better.
Carrot potato?
Yes. Well, I will give you a few when you leave.
All right.
Carrot potato is what Americans call sweet potato.
Okay.
It has a lot of carotenoids in it. Okay. And it nourishes your body and do more to you than the ones that is loaded with sugar. And it has a lot of
that's
sugar
good to
in
hear
it.
you.
Yes, so that's what I eat mostly. I eat a lot of the carrot potato because I got used to it in the US, where I live for some time. I still live there because I still go there to see my family.
All right, Igwe, at this point, we will leave you actually, though we would want to go on and on, but yes, time is no longer our friend here. Yes. Conclusively, we would like you to share some of your prospects. Where do you want to see Atani in the next 5-10 years? And of course, your last word to the people before we go.
Well, my town, like most towns in Ogbaru, we have certain social differences that I feel holds us from doing better than we are doing. I'm looking into it, calling all the parties so that we can deliberate and find solutions to some of our social issues that exist. I would like to see a lot of improvements in that area. I would also like the government to come and help us open up some of the farmland, because you will produce some of these perennials and perishables, and most of them will get wasted in the farms because you can't bring all of them out. Okay? I would also like to see my people increase the protection of certain aquifers where the fish produce, nourish, and then throw into the river Niger. But some people are complaining that they don't catch enough in the Niger. It's because some people are going to the small swamps around and killing the fishes before they even produce and run into the Niger. So we're trying to find ways to protect some of these swamps and the breeding places for that has been there for hundreds and thousands of years. The fishes produce there and they throw in. I would also like to encourage more people, instead of sitting around doing nothing, to take advantage of these federal government policies in the area of agriculture. From what we are learning now, they're even trying to go into the animal husbandry. Get a little bit stronger in the production of poultry, piggery, fish farming, and also increase more on the area of cassava production, processing, and the rest of them.
All right. So I would like to wish you very well, Igwe, praying that God will give you more wisdom to pilot the affairs of the Atani people. You will live long, Igwe.
Thank you so much.
All right, at this point, we'd like to thank you so much for watching today's episode of Royalty. It's been wonderful having His Royal Majesty Architect Azuka Ngodi on the Royalty today. He is the Eze Ogwuike II of Atani. Until we come here again, my name is Nonye Mokoye. Thanks for your time and bye for now.